Why is it so hard to do research on home theater and audio products? Is it a good TV? Is it not a good TV? What's a good receiver, amplifier? What are good speakers? Do I need a Blu-ray player? What's a good subwoofer? These are the type of questions that led me to building CE Critic. Hi everyone, my name is Dippin and I'm with CE Critic. In this video, I want to take you through the platform that we spent the last 2 years building and explain why this will be one of the best research tools you can use when you're researching your next TV, headphones, or whatever audio gear and home theater gear you might need. What we've done at CE Critic is we've aggregated reviews from different publications, reviewers, and YouTubers to give you a CE Critic score. This score is our own unique score that kind of tells you if a product is good or not, whether they're getting mixed reviews or not. And then we source them up with the individual reviewer or publication that did that review. This will really help streamline how you're doing your research. Now, before I jump into the platform here, I want to talk about the transparency we have on the website. So not only do I show you how we calculate some of our CE Critic scores and how we pull in reviews, you'll also notice that our CE Critic score reviews can be different from the different publication or reviewers because we have a completely different system on how we're providing a CE Critic score. We also want to have complete transparency across the industry. So we're telling you who the publication is, who the reviewer is, and where you can go and read the entire review. We also have a section here where you can leave a review as well, and this part is really important. I encourage you guys to come leave reviews on your favorite products just so that you can have an equal voice to publication. A really big problem inside of the industry is that you'll see reviewers that either get special products that are handpicked by the engineers, or they have special incentives to make sure they leave a good review. We know about reviewers that are returning products back to the manufacturers and saying, sorry, we're not going to review this because we don't want to give a bad review. But you, whether you're spending $1, $10, $100, $1,000, or building $20,000, $30,000 home theater system, a dollar is a dollar. And that's really important to us here at CE Critic. And we value that. So we want to make sure you as an end user and a consumer of these products have an equal voice to the publications that are leaving the reviews. So make sure you leave your review on cecritic.com as well, so that anyone who's researching the same TV that you might have, they'll be able to pull from your experience as well. And this way they don't have to go to different forums or websites or put in Facebook groups or Reddit, whether a TV is good or not, and get the same 5 to 10 responses that normally come from the enthusiasts. Another way we are very transparent is we do speaker scores very differently than the way traditional speaker reviews goes. Typically, when you're getting a speaker review, you're usually getting the flagship in a series, usually the best one, and then they go out to the publications, and then someone leaves a review, and then you're expected to understand, well, what about the bookshelf? What about the floor standing? What about the center channel or the surrounds? So what we've done on the CE Critic scores for speakers is we've aggregated all the reviews, just not from the different publications, but for the series. We want to make sure that the series of speakers, whether you are getting that bookshelf, center channel, or floor standing speaker in the different sizes and configurations, we want to make sure that they all perform to the level that you expect. So this way, when you're looking at speaker reviews, you'll notice that yes, we have reviews in from the bookshelf, the floor standing, the center channel, on every single part of that entire series, so you can get a sense of whether the series is good or not. So this way a manufacturer can say, okay, make sure you only review our biggest and baddest floor standing speaker, while their bookshelf speakers are coming up a little bit short. By aggregating all these reviews together, it gives you a sense of whether something is good or not, or whether a product series is good or not. So now let me take you through the platform. I'm going to show you a couple of reviews here, as well as how you can leave your own review. Okay everyone, here you can see this is cecritic.com. Here is the platform. So right away you kind of see some of the headphones and receivers and TVs, everything new that we've recently added to the platform. So the first thing I want to do is talk about a transparency. Let's go over here to the CE Critic score. So what I've laid out here is exactly how we're calculating the score. One of the big things that we've done, I'm just going to highlight this section here, is we've done our score from 0 to 100. We found that this scale is much, much better than trying to do a scale of a 5-star review or even 10 stars. This allows you to go really deep down into what's a good score and what's not, because 3 stars doesn't feel as bad as when you're thinking about a 70%, which is where it would be on the CE Critic scale. So if you scroll down here, we kind of tell you how we're converting some of these items over, as well as the letter grades that some websites might be able to give. So we're pretty transparent about what we're doing here. We also have a weighted system. So depending on who the reviewer is, the importance of the publication, as well as what awards did the product win or the series win, those all get accounted into the CE Critic score. Now, just getting back to the home page here, the thing that I want to go over is just one of these products. So let's start off with this Cambridge audio headphone. This was recently added to the platform. So here you go, you've got a pair of active noise canceling headphones that currently have an 87% CE Critic score. We make available what colors they're available in and where you can potentially go and buy it. And then we have a little bit of a description about what the products are and their specifications. So over here, I already preloaded this in. I put down what type of reviews I want to give it. So first we ask for an overall review, then we talk about the value and then ease of use. So, and I put in a quick comment here, I love these headphones, and then you can hit submit. Now, one important thing here is that we do require you to have an account to leave a review. Why? This is part of our transparency. We want to make sure we don't have any bots or anyone's trying to game the system, that all the reviews in the system are actual end users who have hands-on experience with the products. So once you leave a review here, it will take us about 48 hours for it to show on the website and approve it. So I'm just going to go ahead here and fast track that from my end, and I'm going to approve it live in real time here. Okay, and then you can see I have the 87% here. I have approved this review from my end, from the administration side, and I'm going to refresh the page here, and you're going to now see that 90% CE Critic score for the user side of things. Now, what's really great here, as you're scrolling down and you click read the reviews, it will take you over to all the reviews that are done throughout the publications we've loaded in. What's really interesting here is we add our own CE Critic review, whether a publication or writer has written reviews or they have a numbers review or a star review. And sometimes there's many publications and writers out there that don't have a review system, they just have an article. And this is part of the quantification that CE Critic does. So you can see here, right, from Tech Aries, we have a 97%, from Forbes, we have a 95%. So I'm just going to click on this one just kind of to illustrate the point here. So on the CE Critic score, you have a 95% for this product. So if I click read the full review and you go over to Forbes, now you can see the full review from Mark Sparrow, and you can also see what he thought about it and go deeper into the product itself. But as you notice, as I'm scrolling down here, it's not like Mark has left an actual review of the product based off of a scoring system. This is just his personal thoughts and his verdict on the product. Now, if we go back to the CE Critic score, part of the transparency here, part of what helps a lot is you can see what the reviews are, who the publications are, when they reviewed it, and you'll be able to see different reviewers reviewing the products, or sometimes the same reviewer. So I'm just going to call out here. So you see here Simon Lucas's Sound Advice. You see he has a 90% here with Sound Advice and that publication. But if we scroll down a little bit further, let's get down over here, you're going to see that he also has another review in the system with Tech Radar, and on that platform he has a 100% score. So you'll be able to see if the same writer is giving the same reviews to the same product across different publications. A lot of times these writers are pitching their product reviews to a lot of different websites because that's how they make their living. Now, I don't want to get in the way of people making their living. I just want to make it transparent that as you're doing your research, who's leaving the review and on what platforms. And you'll be able to see the entire score. So you'll see Engadget here did not like these headphones as much. Billy Steele gave it a 79%. What Hi-Fi did not like these headphones as much. They gave it a 60% CE Critic score, while others gave it 80, 83%, 85, 90. This is how you'll be able to come in and really see if you're happy with this product or if it's something you should investigate further. Okay, now let's go over to the speaker section because this is another big call out on CE Critic that we do very different. As I mentioned before, that the speakers are pulled together as a series. So as you're looking here, you kind of see the ELACs, you see the Atmos speaker, floor standing, center channel, bookshelves. There's a lot of different products inside of a series, and they vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. So we're just taking a look over here. So if I just pick, take this Bowers and Wilkins Center channel, this HTM Center channel, right now I am showing an 89% CE Critic score. But when I click read the reviews, you'll notice that we're pulling in reviews that are not necessarily for the Center channel, but for the 703S3. If I click on this review from Acoustics Ian White, you're going to be able to see that this is also for the 703, and it won an Editor's Choice Award, which is how we got to the 95% CE Critic score. We're able to pull these reviews in, so then this way, when you're looking at the Center channel, you'll be able to tell, okay, this series is pretty good. However, if the Center channel is not performing well in reviews, or the bookshelf is not performing well in reviews, you'll be able to see that as well, and it'll be very, very transparent. Okay, so now we're here in the TV section, and similar to the way we do speakers is we start to aggregate the reviews in regardless of the TV size. So if you're looking around here and you're seeing the scores, we're pulling in whether it's the 55, 65, 75, 85 inch, we're pulling all those scores in. And so if you're looking here, you got the Samsung S95F, which just recently launched and is holding strong at a 95% CE Critic score. The new TCL QM6K is also doing very well with an 89% CE Critic score. And then we're very transparent, and you can see some of the TVs that are struggling here. Some of these LG, Samsung, Hisense TV, the Sony Bravia 3 has not been reviewing very well. But if we just click here, let's take this Hisense U8K, which is a very popular TV. It's currently sitting at an 86% CE Critic score, and I'm showing availability of a 55, 65, and 75 inch. And if I go to read the reviews over here, you'll be able to see that we actually have 13 reviews loaded in from here, and this encompasses all the different sizes that reviewers or publications might receive. So this way you can take a look to see where the reviews are coming from, as well as the potential sizes that the reviewers got. As you know, all the reviewers review very differently. So you might have someone that's very technical, that's going to do all sorts of measurements on the TV, such as ratings.com. They measure out all the TVs, and they came up with roughly what would be an 85% CE Critic score. And perhaps someone over at PC Mag, who's a little bit more subjective and is not doing the level of measurements that a ratings is doing, comes up with a 95% CE Critic score. But in a quick snapshot, you'll be able to see all of the reviews here right in front of you and available to dig deeper as you need to. Now, if we go over to headphones, this is where you get to a little bit more of a traditional setup here, where we're only looking at the individual product, because different headphones have different unique capabilities and features. So we try to keep this product to product. So you're not going to see, for example, the Apple AirPods 4, which come in both regular and active noise canceling. They'll have their own reviews here. However, in the headphone category, you can see it even clearly, the distinction between some of these products, and you can see some of them are not too far off. And if you take something that's, something like the Apple AirPods 4, the new release that came out last year, we can take a look to see it's currently sitting around an 82% CE Critic score. And when you click read the review, you'll be able to see we have 23 reviews loaded in, and you'll be able to see it across all the different publications. And you can see it all the way from as high as a 95% CE Critic score. If you start scrolling down, you start to see something in the 70s. You'll see the New York Times, their reviews leaves it kind of at a 65%. Gizmodo gets it down to about a 60%. And what's interesting, if I take the New York Times one, again, if I click on this, you'll see that it's not like this reviewer is leaving an actual score. This is Lauren. And if you scroll down, you'll see that she's giving her thoughts, how she felt about it, but there's no official score from her. That's what CE Critic does. We take a look at the reviews, our system analyzes the reviews, and we come up with a CE Critic score. So we're covering quite a lot of ground here. So you'll see everything from popular trending, from projectors to receivers to Bluetooth speakers, integrated amplifiers, wireless systems. So we're covering the entire gamut of being able to check out anything from the home theater section, as well as 2-channel audio and headphones. We've also got subwoofers, sound bars, Blu-ray players, and you'll be able to come in and really put together a solid system. You can see here in a trending system kind of the variety of some of these products. So you can see here we have wireless Bluetooth speakers that you might be looking at. You might be seeing some AVR receivers, some integrated amplifiers, along with all the headphones, projectors, pretty much everything that covers the entire home theater or two-channel audio space and headphone space. Well, that was the platform, everyone. I really appreciate you taking the time to learn more about CE Critic and how we aggregate reviews and how it can be easier for you to research your favorite gear. Now, I really encourage you guys again to leave reviews on the website. This will really help the next person who's trying to research the same TV or headphones that you might have, and this will bring even more transparency to the industry. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video and ring that bell so that you can get more notifications every time we update.